say he want marry me. I hope say sabi kukuwache. Hope your love goes sweet past the shit.
My history teacher predicted me an E. My mum tells me I've been kicked out of school.
Uncle, if I write an A grade essay, see what you're gonna do is give me that A grade.
Where I will be sharing my experiences and stories that have shaped who I am. Let's do that again, okay? We shall do that again. Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love. Hey YouTube, it's Angelica here. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, this is Angela Culture. This is the first edition of AngieAffairs, where I will be sharing my experiences and stories that have shaped who I've become. So come in, have a seat, have several seats. Today we're going to be discussing my A-level experience, which is quite a meaty topic. There's so much I could talk about. A lot of you have been receiving offers lately. A few of you have actually reached out to me via email asking me for A-level tips, and I thought it'd be good for me to just share my experiences. That way when I do later on give tips on how to ace your A-levels, you understand where I'm coming from. I am really trying the hardest to not display my emotions on my face right now. I'm trying so hard to not project what I'm feeling inside. The things I have done so that you can be able to watch this video, just know.
So better sit back, grab your popcorn, grab your Supermalt, grab your Zobo, grab your Yazoo, grab your J2O, grab your auntie, grab your uncle, grab your niece, grab your husband, grab everything.
And let's jump straight into this video. I achieved A at A-level. To start off, I'm going to discuss my expectations and my preconceptions about A-levels. Prior to starting, I didn't go to sixth form to live my best life. I had already lived. Like, I didn't just live, I lived during GCSEs. I wasn't expecting to turn up and like do the most. It was basically just a means to university for me. I started off with the end in mind, which is a really good mindset that I'd recommend everyone should have. If you don't already, I don't know why you wouldn't have the end in mind, because failure to plan is plan to fail. I'd actually already gone to the same school for high school, and I knew majority of the people who were going to be in my sixth form, and truth be told, I didn't particularly like my year. No tea, no shade. So I went in with the mindset that I was just going to get my head down and I was going to produce the grades I needed to go to university. I wanted to study at Cambridge. Cambridge was the only university outside of London that I could have seen myself at. If it wasn't Cambridge, then it would be LSE, which I so happen to be at right now. So what's up? And if it wasn't Cambridge or LSE, then it would be UCL or KCL. I pretty much already knew that I wanted to study straight law at university, and for straight law I needed A*AA. I ended up not only meeting those grades but exceeding those grades, which I guess was a bonus. So now on to preconceptions. A-levels are harder than university. Oh hell no! University where? Like, honestly, university where? That's not my reality. None of my friends' reality. That's no one who I know's reality. I don't know who the first person to say that was.
I don't know what university they were at. I don't know what course they were studying. I don't know if they even were studying. I don't know, but that has not been my reality.
It's such a huge jump from GCSEs. Don't get it wrong, it is a switch up from GCSE, but it depends on how you view GCSEs in the first place. The thing is, I actually worked hard during GCSEs. I didn't understand this whole GCSEs were such a breeze, GCSEs were so easy rhetoric, because I took my GCSE seriously, so I didn't feel like it was that much of a jump. Third preconception, well, not really my preconception, A-levels are going to be the worst 2 years of your life. It almost felt like it was cool and trendy and funny to joke about how you're having the worst time of your life during A-levels. You can choose to see it as the worst 2 years of your life, or you can choose to see it as a challenge. This is expectation versus reality. I went to a non-selective state school in one of the most, if not the most, deprived boroughs in London and areas in the UK. I was always an anomaly. I always felt different. I always felt like I was reaching. I didn't really find many people who thought like me. I didn't find a lot of people who were as ambitious as I was. There were some classes where I would ask if we could be taught A star to A material. Imagine me even having to ask. But that was not the bad part. I would ask and the teacher would literally look at me and tell me, your concern is to get a B at best, because she couldn't be bothered to teach A star to A material if majority of the class weren't aiming for A stars and A's, which I kind of understand, but it wasn't fair on people like me, because
I'm trying to aim for the top grades. Why should I be deprived? You know, like, I ended up resorting to things like YouTube and BBC Bite Size just so I could learn material that I wasn't learning in class.
That's the kind of environment I need you to understand that I was in. So now on to year 12, coming into sixth form now. Despite the fact that I got into some quite good schools, really good selective and grammar schools, I decided I was going to stay at my school because I had this one amazing head teacher who convinced me. I was fully aware that going to a grammar school would have increased my performance by 10% roughly. The reality was, achieving 3 A's at a school where people were achieving 3 A's and above does not look as contextually impressive as achieving AAB, for instance, or even ABB at a school where the average grade is a C or a D. I decided to stay because I realized that I was an asset to my school. Despite my teachers doubting me, I decided I was just going to work really hard and I was going to produce the results. Also because I lived 15 minutes walk from my school, trying to get my beauty sleep. I'm not trying to travel 1 hour plus just to go to school every day. Year 12 was the year that I did the most. I did so much. I had like 4 sets of work experience. 2 of them were at top 10 law firms in the UK. I did the Cambridge Summer School, the Cambridge Sixth Form Law Conference, the Warwick Summer School, the King's College Summer School. I was on a 2-year program with LSE for high achieving students. I was on a similar program with King's College London, open days, taster days. I did so much. So onto the subjects I chose. I chose mathematics, history, sociology, English literature and religious studies. Religious studies was essentially philosophy, ethics, religion and science. It wasn't just religious studies.
It was the shittest subject you can imagine for deep thinkers and philosophers. Oh, it was just, it was sweet, yeah.
Hopefully you spotted the anomaly, which was maths. The reason for my subject choice was I obviously knew my strengths in essay-based subjects, but I kind of bought into that dream that I needed to have 3 facilitating subjects, and I just thought, why not chuck maths? You know, why not just chuck it in the mix? For those of you who don't know what facilitating subjects are, they are seen as the more academic and challenging subjects, which apparently look more attractive to the top universities. So this would be mathematics, the sciences, English literature, history, modern foreign languages. Maths was a bit of an L because I wasn't as passionate about maths as I should have been. There were 2 things that really annoyed me about year 12. Again, trying to make A-levels harder than they had to be. Ask me why I walked into my first religious studies assessment and all I hear is,
your first grade will be a U. Your first grade will be a U. Your first grade will be a U. Your first grade will be a...
This woman could not have chanted it any more annoyingly. I'm just like, Edakun, please, God forbid. What do you mean my first grade would be a U? I'm the same person who got 100% at GCSE for both my RE exams. I didn't feel like that was the best thing to be said at that time. Like, is that the only thing you felt inspired to say in that moment? I feel like teachers went a bit overboard just to make us want to step up. But the way they did it just felt really disingenuous. Another example was history. Till today, I really can't tell you what it was that made me get full marks in my coursework. I can't tell you what it was that got me an A star overall. You could write a high A grade essay and be awarded average B or even a low B and a mark really harshly because the examiners mark really harshly. The problem with that logic is that when I go into the exam, I might end up not replicating what could have got me an A star, so I'd end up missing out on the grade I do deserve. Now, can someone explain to me why when it came to predictions, my history teacher predicted me an E?
Oh my
wanted to hear this one. Lord, have mercy, Jesus.
You actually, with your chest, you really came. You sit down upon your chair. You whip out your laptop, planted it on your lap. You now said to yourself, I am predicting Angelica an E. You said, I am predicting Angelica an E. So you now let the thought marinate in your head. You let it cook well. You let it just remain in your head. So not only did you premeditate that, you now came and with your own arm, you now came to come and type E.
Enemy of progress.
I look at my report, I say, oh, okay. I said, wow, okay. The second thing that really bugged me about the year was when it came to mistakes. I can take you underestimating me, but when it comes to mistakes, see, that's where we have a problem. I had this one English teacher. He was just a really mean, horrible teacher. He would make judgments in his head about who he thought was going to achieve the top grades, and based on that, he would award us our coursework marks, even if our coursework deserved a higher grade. He would give out a certain amount of A's, certain amount of B's, certain amount of C's. He assumed that way, if he marked wrongly, the exam board, when it came to moderating, would not notice. Some of my close friends were all aiming for top grades. He would say to me and my friends, well, not everyone can get an A. Uncle, if I write an A grade essay, see, what you're gonna do is give me that A grade. What actually happened was, the exam board called up some work for moderation, and it happened to be the work that he had awarded higher marks than they actually deserved, and on results day everyone's grade got dropped. My coursework mark went down by 7 marks. For something that's out of 30, dropping 7 marks is not a joke. My exam grade was already an A for English. Now I had a B overall. School sent everyone's exam for a remark. So I got a remark, and even though my exam was already an A, my mark went up even more, bringing my entire grade up to an A, despite taking L's in my coursework with that B. This is why I say the system is broken, because how is it that my grade went up, even though it was already an A? I just don't understand. I just don't understand. It makes me wonder how many subjects and how many exams I actually did better in than I know. I will never know. For AS Religious Studies, I also had an A. History, I got a B, which was borderline. I was 1 or 2 marks from an A. I ended up dropping maths, so I didn't take maths to A2. It's a bit confusing. I didn't have an AS Sociology grade at the time. I basically learnt 2 years in one, but I decided not to do my A2 exam. Thinking about it now, I probably should have just sat the exam, because I think I would have ended up with an A star overall. So now on to year 13, still doing a lot of extracurricular things in my spare time, but it was now time for me to use all my experiences from year 12 to strengthen my UCAS application. When it came to getting my predictions, as I said earlier, my teachers were pretty doubtful. The same head teacher that convinced me to stay ended up being my head of year for 6th form. He had been my head teacher from year 9 to year 11. He was just such an amazing leader. He would always fight my cause. So regardless of whatever my teachers had to say, he had the final say. He gave me the predicted grades that I needed. For history, despite me not flopping, she told me you might have got a high B, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna do well. Really? She told my other friend who got an A, you might have got an A, but you're likely to end up with a B overall. I'm just like, why are you so salty? Did you not do well at school? Did someone sabotage you? I don't understand why you want to block my blessings. Very early on in year 13, I had some drama. I had a lot of distractions for basically the whole period of the year. But I'm the kind of person to never really have a set squad. I made friends with a lot of people, so I didn't really allow that to bother me. But when it came to distractions from one particular person, which I'm so happy they're out of my life now for good, because with that one person came drama, stress, anger. If I could relive that all over again, I would just tell myself, Angelica, stay away from all the demons.
Every Yoruba demon, Congolese demon, Ghanaian demon, Hausa demon, Edo demon, Igbo demon, stay away from them. Get rid of all of them.
Cancel, block, delete. They're not there for your own good. So towards like February times, this was when my attendance just dramatically just dropped. One of the reasons was because I did move house. I moved in the summer between year 12 and year 13. I went from being 15 minutes walk away to 40 minutes by bus. I had several incidents of just, I don't know what I can call it, like, is it anxiety, is it stress, I don't know. I just had a lot going on, and on top of that I felt ill, and I was just not there. Ask me why. One random day I hear a scream. Was it a scream? Was it a screech? Was it, you know, that Nigerian? My mum tells me I've been kicked out of school.
I've been kicked out of school. Me. Me. Do you know who I am? I was kicked out of school. I can actually sit here and utter those words out of my mouth. I was kicked out of school. It just sounds weird saying that.
So the reasons were obviously due to my absence. So it was Easter time and exam entry deadlines were coming up. My school was figuring out who they wanted to sit exams, because my teachers only really cared about the overall average. I basically managed to wangle my way back into school, because I'm just like, no, you're not about to do that, especially when it's not even my fault. Like, I can't explain everything that happened in this video. I'll probably make a story in the near future about it. The rest of the year I pretty much just did independent study. It got to a point where I felt like going in was a bit of a waste of time. I'm not trying to travel for 40 minutes for you to tell me to create a poster.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Not on my watch. I did not have time to waste. At this point was when I was considering taking a gap year, and I think I might have spoken about it briefly to my English teacher. It was time to complete coursework again, and you guessed it, he did the same thing. This whole guess game, this whole dictatorship. I spoke to him about how displeased I was with my grade. He turned round and told me, you can always resit in your gap year. You can always resit in your gap year. Really? I can always resit in my gap year? Because I told you that's the reason I'm taking my gap year, right? I'm taking my gap year. I have planned my gap year in advance so I can resit something that I'm not even sure about the outcome of. Why would you say that? I dealt with too many enemies of progress. I ended up with a B in English literature yet again. So I decided I had to resubmit my coursework by myself, as in without my school's involvement, and my English grade went up to an A. So that's how I ended up with A star, A star, A. A similar thing happened to a friend of mine who went to my school. She actually happens to be at LSE right now, and she also took a gap year. She went back to my school and requested for her to resubmit it. She resubmitted it, and guess what? This guy still sabotaged her grade. Despite him not giving her the grade she wanted, the exam board brought down her coursework yet again, showing that this guy still carried on marking people's courseworks wrong. She told me that the grade she got was lower than the grade she had before she resubmitted it. When I say A-levels were a struggle, they were a struggle. If you didn't have the right people on your side, that's it. Like, that's actually it. Yeah, that pretty much sums up my video on my A-level experience. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and you've learned a thing or two. I definitely will be going into further detail about the things I mentioned briefly in this video. If you've managed to get this far and you haven't yet subscribed, I don't know what's up with you. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Regardless of what anyone says about you, you can achieve whatever you put your mind to, and regardless of the resistance against you, regardless of what people think and regardless of what people say. People will tell me, oh Angelica, you're doing the most, you're doing too much. Well, now I'm in an environment where everyone is doing the most and I feel great about it. I'm surrounded by like-minded people, people who are driven, ambitious, people who are go-getters, and I absolutely love it. Never feel bad for wanting more, never feel bad for being yourself, and never feel bad for aiming high. Aim as high as you want, aim for the galaxy, and in 10-20 years time, all those people who are waiting to tell you I told you so, you will be the one looking at them and telling them no, I told you so. Thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate you having me all up on your screen. I'll see you in my next video. Until next time, bye.
6 o'clock in the morning, send him a text while I'm yawning. I'm calling.
I'm surprised my makeup's done this well. I've had it on since 9 AM and now it's 2 AM, so it's been 18 hours since I've had it on, which is crazy. I've had it on for that long and this face is beat. It's on fleek right now. So weird. What is bye? I'm just so weird. It's time. Why can't I talk? Why can't I talk? So